The lights in the studio are gentle, the kind that make every word sound a bit more like a secret. Shania Twain sits back in her chair, full of confidence and sparkle, her famous laugh rolling out low and easy. "You really want me to talk about this?" She teases, eyes shining. "At 60, I think I've earned the right to be honest and maybe a little playful." She gives that smile fans know from tons of music videos. Half troublemaker, half pure charm. "Look," she says, "I've spent my whole career around artists who can turn a song into a heartbeat. You can't stand on stage with that kind of talent and not feel something. Sometimes it's respect. Sometimes it's amazement. And sometimes," she adds with a playful pause, "it's both." The interviewer laughs, encouraging her on, and Shania lifts a perfectly curved eyebrow. "I'm not naming any exes," she warns. "But I'll tell you this. There were a few people in this business who could make me forget the words I wrote myself. The kind of spark you can't practice, can't fake. It just happens. And when it does," she leans forward, lowering her voice to a teasing whisper, "you hold on tight and hope the camera's recording." Then she settles back with a smile that's all confidence and country glamour. "So yeah," she says, laughing, 6 artists who made me blush, lose my train of thought, and maybe rethink what professional behavior means. Don't worry, I behaved," she adds with a wink. "Mostly one. Harry Styles." Shania lets out a laugh before the interviewer even finishes saying his name. "Oh, come on," she says, fanning herself with fake drama. "Harry Styles, please. That man is walking charm. It's unfair." She shakes her head, smiling. "When we performed together at Coachella, I thought I was just going to sing a couple of songs and have a fun night. Next thing I know, the whole world's watching us flirt through. Man, I feel like a woman." She leans in like telling a secret. He's got that confidence, the kind that doesn't need to be loud. You feel it before he even opens his mouth. And when he does start singing, she grins wide and knowing. Let's just say, I forgot what country I was in for a minute. Shania laughs again, tossing her hair back. He's got that mix of charm and mystery that used to belong to rock stars back in the day. And somehow he makes it look easy. I told him once that he's the only person who could make sparkly outfits and honesty work at the same time. Her smile softens a little. He's kind. He's down to earth and he listens. Really listens. That's what makes him dangerous, because once you realize that smile isn't fake, you're done. He's pure magnetism in fancy boots. Then she laughs low and playful. I behaved, of course. But if Harry had leaned over during that duet and said, "Let's make this encore last a little longer." She pauses, eyes twinkling. I might have said yes before I even heard the question. 2. Chris Stapleton. Shania's smile changes when his name comes up. Softer now, slower, like she's replaying something in her head. "Chris," she says, drawing out the name. That voice alone should come with a warning label. You hear him sing, and you forget every plan you had for the rest of the day. She laughs. That warm, throaty sound that always seems to hold a secret or two. I remember the first time I saw him live. He just stood there. No tricks, no lights, no dancers, and somehow filled the whole room. That's power. It's not flashy. It's not loud. It's that deep soul-level thing that makes you feel like he's singing straight to you. I swear the man could read a grocery list and it would still sound like a love song. Her tone dips playfully. There's something about the way he carries himself. Quiet, grounded, all rough and smooth at the same time. He's got that classic cowboy energy, but with a poet's heart in those eyes. She lets the sentence hang there, smiling. You can't fake that kind of depth. Shania shakes her head, amused at herself. We've crossed paths a few times, and every time I walk away thinking, okay, keep it together, girl. He's just got that old-school magnetism, the kind that sneaks up on you, slow and dangerous. She laughs again, more softly this time. I'll tell you this, if Chris ever asked me to duet on one of those slow heartbreak songs of his, I'd need a fan and a glass of water before we even started. That's how much trouble that man's voice is. 3. John Bon Jovi. Shania's laugh comes before she even speaks. Oh, John, she says, shaking her head with a grin. Now there's a man who understood stage chemistry before the rest of us even had the words for it. She leans back in her chair, smiling like she's letting herself drift into the memory. Bon Jovi walked so half the rock stars today could run. That hair, that grin, that voice, come on. You couldn't stand next to him in the 90s without rethinking your self-control. Her tone turns teasing, her eyes bright. We'd run into each other at events and award shows over the years, and every single time he'd flash that smile, you know the one. And I'd instantly forget what I was about to say. He just had that effect. Still does, probably. She laughs, gesturing with her hands like she's talking herself out of trouble. He's the kind of man who makes you understand why rock ballads exist. You hear him sing Always or Bed of Roses, and suddenly you're ready to throw logic out the window and follow him on tour. Her expression softens with respect. What I've always loved about John, though, is that behind all the swagger, he's got this steady, kind presence. He's the guy who will make a whole stadium scream and then go home and check if everyone on his crew got paid on time. That's rare and it's unbelievably attractive. Shania smirks, voice dropping a little. Let's just say if he'd ever leaned over backstage and said, "Want to run through a duet real quick? I might have forgotten which song we were supposed to sing." She winks. There's chemistry, and then there's Bon Jovi chemistry. That's a whole different category. 4. Keith Urban. The interviewer barely finishes saying his name before Shania's eyebrows lift and that sly grin returns. Keith Urban. She repeats slowly, almost like she's tasting the words. Now there's a man who makes a guitar look like a dangerous weapon. She laughs, shaking her head. I've always said Keith has that easy cool, like he doesn't even know he's melting hearts while he's tuning. He walks out, says a quiet hello, and suddenly everyone in the room is leaning a little closer. It's that calm, confident energy. You can't fake that. Her voice dips slightly, warm and teasing. The thing about Keith is that he doesn't try to be sexy. He just is. It's in the way he plays, the way he listens to a song. You can feel him thinking about every note. That kind of focus, it's hypnotic. Shania smiles to herself, remembering, we've shared stages, crossed paths at awards, and every time I find myself watching how he moves with the music. He's got that mix of discipline and freedom. Pure artist energy. It's not loud or flashy. It's slow burn. Dangerous in the best way. She leans forward a little, eyes bright. He's also one of the kindest people in the business. Always present, always humble. But when he starts to play, she laughs softly. You remember why he's a star. You feel that heat. The kind that doesn't ask permission. Then she sits back, smiling like she's just confessed more than she meant to. Let's just say, if Keith had ever asked me to stay after rehearsal and work through a bridge or two, I probably would have said yes before he even finished the sentence. She winks. It's the accent, too. You try saying no to that. 5. Bruno Mars. Shania's laugh is immediate, bright, and knowing. Bruno Mars, she says, grinning. That man was born to flirt with an audience. The first time I saw him perform, I thought, that's not just a concert. That's flirting set to a beat. She leans back, eyes sparkling. He's got this rhythm that lives in his bones. You watch him move and you realize he's not dancing to the music. He is the music. Every flick of the wrist, every grin, perfectly timed. It's unfair, really. No one should be allowed to have that much groove and that much charm in the same body. Her tone turns mock serious. He's got that dangerous combination of confidence and playfulness. He'll sing a line, throw a wink, and suddenly you're convinced it's meant just for you. I remember thinking, if he ever sang Versace on the floor within 10 feet of me, I'd probably forget my own lyrics. She laughs, tilting her head. He's the kind of artist who makes chemistry look easy. It's not about trying. It's about energy, timing, connection. And Bruno has all three wrapped in a perfect smile and a voice that could make a grocery list sound like a love song. Her smile softens. He's also one of the most gracious people I've met. Total pro, but still playful. Like he never lost the joy of performing. That's the secret. I think you can't fake joy. And with Bruno, it's written all over him. She laughs again, that signature mischievous glint returning. If he ever asked me to duet, I'd say yes, but only if there's a warning label. May cause sudden dancing and mild swooning. 6. Lenny Kravitz. Shania exhales, smiling like the name itself brings back a memory. Lenny Kravitz, she says, voice dropping into that low melodic rhythm that sounds like she's still on stage. Now that's a man who doesn't just walk into a room, he changes the temperature. She laughs a little breathlessly. You know what's funny? He never even tries. He'll just stroll in wearing leather pants and sunglasses indoors. And suddenly, every conversation stops. He's got that energy. Calm. Smooth, but magnetic enough to pull every eye in his direction. Her expression turns more thoughtful, though the smile doesn't fade. Lenny's an artist in the truest sense. Everything about him, the way he talks, plays, even pauses, feels intentional. He doesn't waste a word, and when he looks at you, it's like he's reading your next thought before you've even had it. That's distracting. She laughs, tossing her hair back. We've crossed paths a few times, and every time I walk away thinking, so that's what cool looks like up close. He's just got that thing, that unspoken rhythm that makes you want to listen longer than you should. Her tone dips playful again. If there were a class on charisma, he'd be the teacher, and I'd be sitting in the front row taking notes I'd never admit to writing. There's a reason every generation falls for him. He's timeless. The voice, the look, the aura. It's all just Lenny. She smiles, slow and mischievous. Let's just say if he ever called and said, "Hey Shania, want to jam?" I'd be there in a heartbeat. Guitar in hand, heart on standby. She laughs, shaking her head. Some artists just have that effect. And Lenny, he's Exhibit A.